Shop the Sherwin Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 22nd through September 4th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Just Josh and myself here today. Justin had prior things he needed to take care of on this lovely Sunday afternoon. I've missed an episode recently, so I decided to pick up the slack. I'll be myself and Justin today. Okay, brother. See, I can do it. But we got a fun one lined up for you guys today, talking about the last preseason game. The Browns are officially preseason champs, 3-0. I think for the first time since 2017, I think is what I saw.
That's what I saw.
Was that the 0-16 year?
Yes, I think so, right? Miles Garrett,
if I remember correctly, we went 3-0 in the preseason, or undefeated in the preseason, because I think back then it was 4 games, and then didn't win a single game, which who knows, could maybe be this year. I know me personally, my outlook on the season is at least somewhat more optimistic. I'm not pounding the table saying Super Bowl contender. I'm not even pounding the table saying playoff contender, but I'm sitting here saying competitive team, which I didn't necessarily believe maybe a month ago. So the preseason at least did that for my attitude. So we'll see what it did for Josh's and for everybody else's. Before we get into yesterday's game, though, remember, if you want to get your thoughts and interests on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. You can listen to the show on Apple and Spotify. You can find us on all the major social media platforms. Just search at The Dogs Podcast. And lastly, if you're looking for more Dogs content, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord. You definitely want access to that Discord as we're heading into week 1 of the regular season. You do not, you want it now because it's about to be cut week, and there's just going to be, it's going to be nonstop Browns talk now from now until, I mean, if a miracle happens, February, when we're playing for the Super Bowl,
or debating what quarterback to take.
Yeah, we're debating what quarterback to take, but it's constant in there. Browns talk, it's a great time for everybody. Play fantasy football with us. The cutoff for that is done. So those leagues are all set, but get in now, hang out with us, see what it's all about, and then come next year, you'll be ready to play fantasy with us. Plus, they did some like fantasy NASCAR stuff last year. Some of the guys in there did. I would even do like a fantasy basketball league. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff popping up in there. It's a good time for everybody involved. So again, if you want to support the show, you want to get access to the private Discord, meet a bunch of Browns fans from all over, it's jointhedogs.com to become an official Dog Pack member. So as we move into yesterday's game, Browns complete the comeback on the arm of Tyler Huntley and the leg of, how do you even say his name? Andre Smith. Okay. When we win the game 19-17 over the visiting Los Angeles Rams to, like I said, go undefeated in the preseason. Kind of a game, I'll say it's a polarizing game depending on if you're a Browns fan or if you're a Shedeur Sanders fan. It's polarizing. I don't think anything should ever be polarizing when the Browns win, but here we are. This is just the world we live in. I don't remember the last time we weren't polarizing at the quarterback position. But before we get to all that nonsense drama about the QB position, I just kind of want to, let's just maybe go like Flacco to the end and just kind of see where the conversation takes us. It was encouraging to see first team offense, first team defense out there. First team defense is suffocating, and that was still without some of the key guys. But like Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, the Browns might have something. Like we've been wondering who's going to be that guy opposite. I feel like we've been searching all the way back to Olivier Vernon, who can be opposite Myles Garrett, and I feel like these guys are ready to have just breakout seasons. They showed stuff last year, like we might be on to something. And then this preseason, they've really been popping off the tape. Isaiah McGuire got one of the corniest taunting penalties I've ever seen in my life.
What is it with this nose wipe thing? Like,
I don't understand how that was a taunt. I saw every other tackle in the entire game. The player who made the tackle got up and celebrated, and there's no other taunting penalty called. So but he gets called for taunting for celebrating a sack. I
looked it up. He did the nose wipe, right? And apparently that is gang related or some sort of, I don't know. And so the NFL's trying to crack down. That's what it was. The whole celebration was fine. It was as soon as he did the nose wipe, that was the flag. So these guys have to know we cannot be wiping the noses this year. And if you're getting a first down, no gun fingers for the first down. CeeDee Lamb's going to be in trouble with that one.
Just let the guys play and do whatever they want. Like, no wonder it's called the no fun league. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, it's just, sucks. Come on. And I understand that there's a fine line between you're trying to protect the image of the game. You got kids watching. You don't want it to turn into, like street ball or you don't want gang affiliations in your game. You're trying to be like a family entertainment thing. But nobody saw him wipe his nose and thought he's in a gang. Like, give me a break. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just really not connected to the gang life. But I know I didn't see that and get appalled because he was doing gang things. It's not like he stood up and said blood, So I don't know. It just, I let them have some fun. Let them play. Let them celebrate. It's a game of emotion. Don't take the emotion out of it. That's what makes it football so special and it makes it football. So, but those guys, I think they are onto something opposite. Miles, Mason Graham played well again. Carson Schweschinger is a freaking animal.
Man,
I think he's if I'm gonna do any preseason betting, which if I know myself like I think I do, I'm going to. Carson Schweschinger, I think, is like a good long shot defensive rookie of the year kind of bet. I'd have to check the odds, but if you're getting good odds on that, go place that bet because he's all over the field. He's unblockable. He's sideline to sideline. He plays with a tenacity, his hair's on fire. He's awesome. It's one of those things that almost makes me feel like the Greg Newsome pick because if you remember when we drafted Greg Newsome, we were all a little bit disappointed because we wanted him to go offense. Same thing this year. First pick, second round, we're they got to go offense now. They just picked a defensive tackle. They have to go offense. And they pick a linebacker out of UCLA. And we're what in the hell are they even doing? We're never going to score a single point. And he might turn out to be my favorite draft pick. If that doesn't teach you not to overreact on draft night and just not to be overreactionary altogether, Carson Schweschinger and Newsome are prime examples of why you shouldn't overreact to things.
Mason Graham, too, because we weren't totally thrilled when they traded back out of 2 to go take a defensive tackle top 5. But, man, They're trying to double team him in the preseason. He's blowing up blocks. He's getting in the backfield. He's getting to the quarterback. And this is without Myles Garrett on that line with him. I mean, and we're talking preseason of his rookie year. This guy hasn't developed into the NFL yet. He's just getting started, and he's this good. He's this tenacious. I cannot wait to see how Mason Graham and Carson Schweschinger, how these two develop over the next 3 years. But this season's going to be fun with these two.
It makes you think too. What if JOK can come back at some point? And you get to pair him, put him on this defense with a guy like Schweschinger. The defense could be really good for a long time. There's some good young pieces on there to go with vets like Miles and Denzel. So I'm crazy excited for the defense. I'm getting glimpses of that 2023 defense where we're just going to be all over the field. It's going to be hard to get an inch on this defense. And then you go to the other side of the ball, and we finally got to see Joe Flacco and this first team offense out here. And Joe Flacco just goes 9 of 10, 71 yards and a touchdown, 129.6 quarterback rating. It's like he never took off the brown and orange.
Right. Picked up right where he left off. I mean, you saw the connection with him and David Njoku. It's we are back, baby. As long as we're getting that ball to David Njoku, this is going to be a fun ride between these two. You saw how excited, right, in that video when they announced Joe Flacco was the starter. David Njoku put out that video, was going nuts. He was so happy. And then, if we were excited and we thought that connection was really good with, Joe and Njoku, I think this Joe Flacco to Harold Fannin Jr. thing could be real to start the season. I mean, they had the touchdown pass yesterday, and by all accounts from camp and practices all summer. And actually, Bowling Green football tweeted us or, talked to me on Twitter and said, hey, like, this guy's a fast study. Just buckle up. Like, he's going to be ready to go. And that's what we've heard. He's quick. He's learning everything super fast. He's picking up the offense. He's everywhere. They use him everywhere. It's going to be fun, man. I think Harold Fannon's going to be a steal.
I think the Browns had sneaky, like under the radar. People aren't talking about it because we're the Browns and we're supposed to be a dumpster fire. I feel like they knocked this draft out of the park.
I think a lot of it gets clouded because one, Quinshon Judkins situation. That's putting a dark cloud over the whole thing. And you drafted 2 quarterbacks that have been the main point of contention for a lot of people over the entire summer. Those 3 picks have really clouded what they did with the other ones. I agree with you. I think the two defensive players and then getting, Dylan Sampson looks like he could be a stud. I mean, we already knew he could be a stud, but seeing it yesterday, he didn't do anything huge. But just watching the way he moves on the field with the ball, even without the ball, when he's going out for a pass, it's like, okay, I think this guy can play football.
He had
pretty well
the
here.
one like nice reception where he broke a tackle. He runs tough.
Yes.
The running game, they ran for 85 yards yesterday. I feel like that almost 84 and a half of that had to be in the first half because we didn't run the ball for crap in the second half. But I just thought the offense, it looked good. And it's one of those things where like it's just not my favorite offense. I'd rather watch it like I'd rather have a Ben Johnson offense where we just got 15 guys in motion. We're running halfback passes, triple reverses to the left tackle, and nobody knows who's getting the ball. And it's just like, man, how does he come up with this stuff? But Kevin Stefanski's offenses are efficient. It's not necessarily smoke and mirrors, and it's not exceptionally flashy. But if he has a quarterback who can do what he wants done with the ball and hit his back foot and get rid of the ball, the Browns move the ball and they're an efficient offense. And you put an efficient offense, one that's going to take care of the ball, hopefully not turn it over, and you pair that with this defense that looks like it has a chance to be a top 5 defense, you can win football games.
Oh, for sure. Now, one thing I do want to make sure I mention, just for anybody listening, watching who didn't watch the game or didn't stay up to, tabs with what was going on. According to Zach Jackson, who was there the other day, said he believed the Rams suited up maybe 48 guys for this game. They played no starters, no second string guys. I play a lot of fantasy football, so I'm pretty knowledgeable in the depth, at least on the offensive side of the ball for a lot of these teams. I didn't know anybody playing for the Rams yesterday. Nobody. And I'm like, okay, none of these guys are going to be on the roster come Tuesday. So I want to just put that out there. Like both the Browns' first team offense and defense were playing against 4th string guys like the whole game, but they looked, the first string did what they were supposed to do.
This is one of those things where we don't want to overreact to preseason football, but it goes back to kind of like my rule, this show's rule is it doesn't matter necessarily just because you look good in the preseason doesn't mean you'll be good, but you definitely don't want to look bad in the preseason. And we've seen the Browns look bad in the preseason, and it just rolls right on over into the regular season, and they're terrible all year. But the Browns looked much better than I think a lot of people thought they would look in this preseason. And so now can they build on that momentum? And maybe the most encouraging thing out of this entire preseason for me isn't 3-0 in the preseason games or how we looked in any of the games. It's by all reports, we took it to the Eagles in those joint practices.
Yeah.
Like Eagles might have got day 1, like it was back and forth, but from what we heard, day 2, the Browns kind of took them behind the woodshed. You know what I mean? Especially our defense against their offense. And that's the reigning Super Bowl champs, arguably what many people consider the best top to bottom roster in the entire National Football League. And so for us to kind of have like that preseason, bring in this rookie class, get them up to speed and go toe to toe with the reigning Super Bowl champs in these practices where those practices are intense. Those practices are more intense than the games, the preseason games, but 100% when it's 1v1s. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said in this open, I'm encouraged for the season. I'm not going to even say we can compete for a playoff spot. I'm not going to say, we can win a playoff game, any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to say, even if we start the season like I predicted before, 0-6, I just don't think we're getting blown out. I think we're going to be in every single game. I think we're going to be competitive, fun football team. And I think if we can steal a couple, if we can make some kicks, not with Dustin Hopkins. I think that the Browns will at least be good enough where once we get to that last quarter of the season, we're still playing games like with a chance. We're playing for something in that last quarter of the season where it's at least an entire fun football season to watch. And even if we don't make the playoffs, we're going into that offseason going, okay, we feel pretty good about this future. We nail one more draft class, one more offseason of adding some pieces. Like, we're going to be a pretty good football team. I initially thought like there's a chance this season was going to be over before the first month was done. And now I feel like we're at least going to be playing relevant football heading into that third quarter of the season.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Shop the Sherwin Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 22nd through September 4th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, it is time to upgrade your ring game. Head over to manlybands.com/dogs and check out everything Manly Bands has to offer. Some of the coolest bands materials that you're going to find. I love going through and looking at everything in their Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel collection. I mean, you can get a wedding ring made from a Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel. That's awesome. They've got the Lord of the Rings collection. They've got DC Comics, and they've also got the other materials too. Gold, white gold, that kind of stuff. They've got meteorite. They've got dinosaur bone. They've got all kinds of stuff. And they have a ton of other gifts as well. They've got barware. They've got chains. They've got wristwatch. They've got all kinds of stuff. Anything you need if you're looking for manly rings and manly things, head to manlybands.com/dogs and make sure to use promo code CAMP25, CAMP25, to get an extra $25 off your order. That's manlybands.com/dogs, promo code CAMP25.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, AlumaGuard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
Yeah, I think the big thing for the preseason, we talked about it going in, a month ago. I want to see the team be physical. Be physical and just look competent. Look like you know what you're doing, because last year was terrible in the preseason, like especially on offense. Nobody knew what they were doing. It looked super vanilla. I mean, it was just dump off passes to the running backs and tight ends. That was it. There was nothing else to see. And it was just penalties galore. It's just terrible. We didn't turn the ball over. We only had 5 penalties for 35 yards yesterday, and one of them was that stupid nose wipe penalty. So really just 4 penalties in the whole game. If you take that one, just don't wipe your nose, guys. But, I mean, that's buttoned up to me. Like, the Rams had 12 penalties yesterday. Now, they were playing a ton of backups, but so were we in the second half, and we still came out of the game looking buttoned up. And just to even be in the position where you can put a 4th team offense out there that none of these guys are going to be on the roster in a couple of days, and they can orchestrate and execute a 2-minute drive to win the game. That's awesome. Like that. I know it's just preseason. Obviously, the win doesn't matter, but it still tells you something. It still tells you that they're being coached from top of the roster to the bottom to go out there, focus, play focused, and get the job done. And that's just encouraging for the season.
No, I completely agree. And like you said, you used the word buttoned up. I just feel like the Browns seem way more focused this year. And I don't know if you guys have, when you watch these preseason games, they show the ads, and it's Kevin Stefanski talking to the team. He's talking about like why it's going to be so hard, and he says it's because it's going to callous us up. I get that sense. Like, it's harder. They seem tougher, like a little bit of adversity. We're not front runners. I don't feel like, obviously it's preseason. I'm not trying to overhype it, but it has a different feel to it. And even I think Myles Garrett has even talked about this in some of his press conferences, where like the attention to detail seems like it's more, it's there more this season. Like, it's harder. People are flying around. There's more hitting. It just seems like there's a bigger, like a sense of purpose this year that maybe we haven't had the last few off seasons. So I feel like that's really good for us to see, because I think I like Kevin as a coach and I like AB as a GM for the most part, but if it went off the rails early and we were just getting blown out and guys were checking out, they're not coming back. I know we can say that it feels like they're safe, but you can go into a season saying these guys are safe, and then it can get real ugly real fast, and all of a sudden they're not so safe anymore. So just the fact it feels like we are more buttoned up, we're tougher, we're more hard-nosed, we're more ready for like a physical brand of football. I think that bodes well for the Browns and Kevin Stefanski heading into this season and further. I did want to then, now we kind of need to talk about the second quarterback, Dillon Gabriel. Talk about, and I guess we can kind of just lump in the rookie QB battle a little bit here. It was one-sided this time. Dillon Gabriel clearly played better than Shedeur. Now, I guess the one thing I want to say is, if you're a Shedeur fan and you're not a Browns fan, you have to stop thinking everything is a conspiracy, everything is set up to go against Shedeur, everything, but all you do is first of all, you sound dumb. And second of all you do is make people want to hate on him more because of how ignorant you are. It's perfectly fine for Shedeur to not have a great half of football in a preseason game. It's also, to the people who are like just putting him down for not having a great half of football, it's also fair to say he was playing behind and throwing two guys who are probably going to be selling cars this time next week. So he wasn't necessarily put in a position to really go out there and light it up. That's preseason football when you're the fourth quarterback on the depth chart. Maybe you don't like that he's the fourth quarterback on the depth chart, but he also didn't do himself any favors in that department yesterday. I guess we'll just kind of talk about that real quick. He was set up in that game, obviously, most likely not to go out there and dice it up. Okay. I know that the Rams are playing third and fourth string players, but the Browns, they could block anybody, and nobody was open. But Shedeur could have helped himself in terms of don't run backwards. You know what I mean? If you hit your back foot, and sometimes you got to know this 5-yard sack is better than a 20-yard sack or turning it over or step up into the pocket. He could have done things in that game outside of the box score to give the Browns cause for optimism in terms of like, I know he didn't go out there and light it up, but look, instead of running backwards, he saw this pressure. He stepped up into the pocket. Oh, he scrambled around a little bit, got outside the pocket. Why would you just run out of bounds? When you're 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, just flick the ball out of bounds and go to 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 14. Like, there were things he could have done outside of the box score without going out there and throwing for a bunch of yards and touchdowns that would have made him look good in the Browns coaching staff eyes that he just didn't do. And that's fun. Like, he's a rookie and he's going to learn these things, but it's perfectly fine to say that he didn't have a great game without it being a conspiracy, without it being we're all racist. Nothing irritates me more when I get called a racist because I said he didn't play a great game. But then when we put out a video where I'm saying he played well last week, everybody's like, this guy. Somebody asked if I had a Cash App that they could send me money because I was talking good about Shedeur last week. And I guarantee that same person will probably say that I don't know ball this week because I'm saying he didn't have a great half. I'm saying he didn't have great tools and great weapons, but there were things he could have done to play better.
Dude. Shedeur, we just got to call it what it is. Yesterday, he played terrible. He looked horrible yesterday. And a lot of it was the drifting back. He was inviting his own pressure. I mean, 5 sacks for 41 yards. I mean, what was that? Well, 1 sack was 23 yards or something. You can't do that in the NFL. That just absolutely kills everything. And I watched Jake Burns did the all-22 breakdown between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders on Brown's Film Breakdown. Go check them out if you guys want to go see what they're doing over there. But I watched everything with Shedeur that he was highlighting. And on most of those plays, there were guys open. It's kind of like, remember how we watched some of these plays after the fact, like PJ Walker and some of these other where there's like a dumb play or whatever. And it's like Kevin is scheming these guys open, but the quarterback's not seeing it. And Jake kept saying over and over, it's like Shedeur wasn't trusting what he was seeing. We heard that a lot last year with Deshaun. It's like he lost his confidence after a couple of bad plays or a couple sacks. He was starting to get pressure where there was plays where if he would have just stepped up into the voids in the pocket, he could have easily stepped into a throw on a crosser or something, or a guy, running out to the sideline. There were guys open. There were guys breaking open. And instead of seeing them, he drifted, or he was just trying to get away from the pressure before it was even at him. So it was just a bad game. It's just a bad game for him. I mean, it's the second time he's been on an NFL field in his entire career so far.
Everybody just needs to calm down. Yeah. I still think he's probably be the quarterback of the Browns in the future. But one bad half of preseason football doesn't mean that the ship has sailed on him. So to everybody who's trying to use a bad half of football to say see, he's terrible. We told you he was a 5th round pick. It's just as dumb as the people who are saying they wanted him to suck yesterday. They weren't calling good plays for him. Come on, guys.
A lot of the same concepts.
The extremes ends of the spectrum are just so annoying and stupid on both sides. It was a football game. He didn't play well. He can learn from it. Will he learn from it? That's what we got to see.
For Shedeur, I mean, coming out of the draft, and this was everybody, not just me, and every analyst who broke down his film said, you got pros and you got cons. The cons for Shedeur was the drifting back under pressure. He did that all the time. It was a bad habit out of college, and taking too many sacks. He took the most sacks in college football. And we know, if you go back and look at quarterbacks drafted into the NFL, how they take sacks, or the rate they take sacks at in college, usually translates somewhat to the NFL. Like last year was Caleb Williams, took a ton of sacks in college, took the most sacks in the NFL last year. Same with Shedeur. These are, because it's a habit thing. And whenever you're coming straight from college into the NFL as a rookie, you don't have time to break all those bad habits. So he still got them, and they really came out yesterday in a bad way. Just the two things I will knock Shedeur on for this preseason. I forget about the drifting back and take, those are things we already knew about. I did not like the body language yesterday. The body language to me yesterday was dude, you need to pick it up. I know things aren't going well for you out there. I know you're getting your ass kicked and you're getting sacked and things like that. He just looked like he was done. And to me, you can't do that, especially if you're trying to fight for a spot and you're already behind the 8 ball. Get out there, show some maturity, just get your chest up and get on to the next play. You could just tell he was defeated. And I think that played into why Kevin pulled him for that 2-minute drive. It's dude, you're not even close to being ready for this right now.
I hate that they took him out. Why? To me, that was so stupid. Well, I don't care that Snoop Huntley can come in and go 1 of 1 for 7 yards in a 2-minute drill. He's not going to be on the team tomorrow. Why would you not let Shedeur have the 2-minute drill and see if he can do it? Can he shake off? We just talked about how he had poor body language. He looked defeated. Can he shake it off in the moment? Hey, I've had a bad half, but we still, as bad as I've played, we have a chance to go out and win this football game. Can I go out and orchestrate a 2-minute drive to get us into field goal range to win this football game? And instead, you put in the guy who's not going to be on the team tomorrow. That was, of all the things, I don't believe, there's no conspiracies, there's no blackballing. That was so stupid. I will never understand that in a million years, why you would take him out in that's you just drafted him. You don't want to see him get those reps and see what he can do. See if he can overcome the bad play. See if he can get out of his head and go out there and lead a drive, have a short memory. Instead, you put him on the bench and let Snoop Huntley go 1 of 1 for 7 yards. What did we learn? What did we learn about anything? We learned nothing. The only thing we learned is that our backup kicker is better than our starting kicker.
Which we already knew. So that is, that of all the things that happened yesterday, that was the one thing I saw Snoop coming in, and I was just what are we doing? What good does this do anybody on the Browns? No, I mean, it's a fair point. And, I do kind of wish they'd have just let Shedeur have the entire quarter or the entire half. It would have made sense, but I don't know. Again, Kevin, what did he say after the game? He was asked about that, and he said the plan was to have Snoop finish out the game, so they just stuck with the plan or something. I forget what he said.
For a dry, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. That plans change, Kevin. Plans change. That's, come on.
If you know the Browns, this regime, they pretty much stick to them, though. I mean,
that was the most, of anything I've ever seen, that was one of the most head-scratching decisions. Like, you drafted a guy who you think has a chance to be a guy for you, either in the future or whatever. You obviously saw something in him to draft him, and you have a chance to see him in-game situation after he's had a bad half of football, see if he can go down and lead your team to a win, and you put in the guy who's just not going to be on this team. And now we know nothing. Now we don't know if Shedeur can shrug off a bad half. We don't know. Now we don't know.
Yeah.
To me, that was baffling.
But to kind of transition here, what I do know is that Dillon Gabriel looked sharp yesterday, and you want to talk about a 2-minute drive. His 2-minute drive to end the first half was beautifully executed. I thought he did such a good job on that drive. Overall, he did a great job, but that drive specifically was like, damn, that was nice.
It was one of those things where, kind of like how in Shedeur's first game, where as the game went on, he settled in and got more comfortable, and we were a little bit weary of Dillon's first game because it seemed like as he got off script, he got a little bit worse. I thought this game he was pretty good for most of it, but a little Jekyll and Hyde at the start. Like, he'd have a really nice throw, and then one sail almost got Gage Larvadian murdered, but then he really settled in, and by the time he got to that 2-minute drive, he executed it perfectly. That throw he had in front of the safety over the corner, I think it was to Thrash at the 3-yard line or something like that.
Yes, the Thrash throw.
That's an NFL caliber throw. That's a big time throw. The accuracy there. I actually thought a great throw he had was another time we were down in the red zone and he tried to throw a touchdown. I think it was to Thrash, and it was low and away, and the only person who could get it was Thrash or nobody. Now, I wish he would have just ran it in for the touchdown. Because it looked like it was wide open, and maybe he's just being cautious. It's the preseason. He was nursing the hamstring the last couple of weeks. I thought he could have ran it in for a first down or a touchdown there. But even the missed throw was a good missed throw. Mm-hmm. And another takeaway from that throw, and the guy's got his arms live.
Yeah,
the guy's got a rocket for an arm. He can throw with some juice.
Tony Grossi said that during rookie minicamp. Dillon Gabriel's throws they look strong, they look nice. And we saw that in the game. He's right about that.
I mean, wasn't his velocity or something 70 or upper 60s?
Yeah, it was. That's right. Clocked at the Senior Bowl. It was one of the highest ever.
Yeah, so he can put a little bit of oomph behind his throws. So he's got a rocket. The biggest knock on him is going to always be his size, but I thought he showed a lot yesterday of what the Browns have seen in him and why they think he's the guy. He hit his back foot, got rid of the ball. He was accurate, orchestrated the offense. And somebody in the Discord, I forget who it was, has said now, he's orchestrated scoring drives on all but one of his drives now that he's been in the preseason. It hasn't always all been touchdowns, but almost every single drive that Dillon Gabriel's been in the game, the Browns have come away with some form of points.
It's what the Browns have told, and it goes back to this whole thing through camp. We get the reports from Zach Jackson and Darryl Reuter, and these guys say, "Oh, he looks terrible in training camp. He doesn't look like an NFL quarterback," and they're ready to bury the guy. And I think a lot of that might have to do with the fact that Dillon Gabriel's been getting first-team reps against the Browns' first-team defense, and the Browns' first-team defense is way, way better than what Dillon Gabriel faced yesterday and last week in Philadelphia in the backup squads for these teams. So it's good that Dillon Gabriel looked very competent and very sharp in these last two games. And it makes sense why he wouldn't look as polished in practice, because he's going against Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and these guys. Our defense looks for real.
Yeah.
So that could be a very, very logical explanation why he maybe has not looked very good in camp and practice and stuff. But that could be why. He got out here in this game against a foreign defense and just diced him up. You got to hand it to the kid. And it drives me nuts, the people that, I'll say, hey, Dillon Gabriel had a great game. And if Shedeur had that line and those receivers, he'd have been better. That has nothing to do with what Dillon Gabriel did. Dillon Gabriel went out there and played his role very well. I was impressed with him yesterday.
And it's just so annoying. Like you can say Dillon Gabriel played well without. It's not a bash on Shedeur,
right? You know? It's just by he was on the field and he played well.
Yes, he played well, and I think he made the quarterback talk even more interesting because now they both have games where like they look pretty good, you know, and then they both had games where I would say Dillon Gabriel's not as impressive game was better than Shedeur's game yesterday,
yes,
for sure.
For sure.
Way different situations though, like in terms of the talent they were playing with and stuff like that. The biggest thing I think people have to realize here is we can't overreact to anything that we're seeing because we have yet to see an apples to apples comparison for these guys. It's all been apples to oranges. It's been Dillon Gabriel against the Browns first team. It's been Shedeur with third stringers against first stringers in Carolina. But then he played against a terrible defense when he got to their backups. Then it's been Shedeur playing with guys who are going to be selling insurance next week, and Dillon Gabriel was getting to play with guys who are going to be on this team. There's yet to be an apples to apples comparison. So anything we're seeing, you can't just take it at face value. You have to do like deeper dives into film breakdown to really see who is doing what, because just box score watching, just boxing, there's no real comparison there. They've yet to go against the same defenses. They've yet to play with the same players. It's fruitless to sit here and try to compare the two right now.
No, and I think really if you're going to lump the two of them into a statement at the same time, it would be they both look worlds better than what we saw last year at the quarterback position for the Browns. And that's what is encouraging to me.
Yes, and if you're a Browns fan and not just a Shedeur fan or a Shedeur hater, you just have to be happy that the Browns picked two quarterbacks that both look like maybe there is something there for them. Maybe not this year. Now, hopefully I would like to see at least one of them get some playing time this year so we know. Mm-hmm. But it looks like the Browns have two quarterbacks on their roster that if developed and if we don't rush them in and we don't ruin them, one of these guys or both of these guys could be a pretty good NFL quarterback for the Browns or for somebody else in terms of what we could trade. No matter who it is, it doesn't matter. I just want one of them to be good for the Browns. I like Shedeur. It would be super cool if it was Shedeur. But if it's Dillon Gabriel, it's Dillon Gabriel. I just want one of them to be good because I want the Browns to win.
We've said that from the beginning. As long as one of them can just emerge, that would be huge for the Browns. And yes, I mean, Shedeur seems like he's the one with the most potential, and he could be that guy. But you just can't discount Gabriel. Like what he's done in these preseason games shows that he's got a command of the offense, which the Browns told us. He understands what Kevin Stefanski wants to do in the offense, which they told us. Okay, I'm back in on listening to you guys tell me about Dillon Gabriel now because I finally seen it. Before we saw it, all we had were the reports from camp that were just contradicting everything the Browns were telling us. Okay, now we've got some film to actually back it up. So I'm back in. Dillon Gabriel, I really can't say enough. I was impressed yesterday. I thought that he came in and just moved the ball down the field, which is so, after watching last year, I love it. I love watching offense that moves.
Yes. I think we'll get first downs this year.
Yeah, we might convert a couple thirds.
Yes, I think we'll convert a couple third downs this year. A couple other things I wanted to talk about from this game outside of the quarterback position. First of all, I think we got to give a huge shout out and congratulations to our dude, Aiden Huntington.
Absolutely.
I knew when we came out on our first offensive snap and he was at fullback, I said, this guy's on the team.
Yep.
He would not be out here right now with this first team offense in the fullback role if he wasn't making this team. And then all he did was go out, murder somebody on that play, go into defense. He had 1.5 or 2.5 sacks.
I forget. It was something. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he led the team in
1.5 sacks, tackles. 2 TFLs. Yep.
Who would have thought that we replaced special teams ace safety DeAnthony Bell with special teams ace defensive tackle Aiden Huntington? It's kind of like DeAnthony Bell was kind of like our special teams guru the last couple of years in terms of he was making all the tackles on punt and kick and that. And we didn't replace him with another skill position guy. We replaced him with a 285-pound defensive tackle, and this dude's running down the field making tackles on kickoff team. What he's done in this preseason has just been beyond impressive.
It tells you all you need to know about this kid that Kevin Stefanski immediately after the game told the reporters Aiden Huntington has made the 53-man roster. Andrew Berry said, I can tell you guys that. Like, this is a UDFA. We don't find these things out until the roster cut down because they've always got hard decisions to make. Do we keep this guy? Do we wait on waivers and see if we can pick somebody up? All this other stuff. They said, screw all that noise with Aiden Huntington. This is on the team. And he's awesome.
I remember after the first preseason game, we came on here and did an episode, and I was like,
yeah,
who was that defensive tackle who was just like running down on kickoff, destroying people, and just like he just kept making tackles? And our chat was like, oh, that was Aiden Huntington. That was Aiden Huntington. And then all he did was continue to like get every game. He did something where I was like, this guy's incredible. So I'm super pumped for him. A guy undrafted. The Browns seem to kind of do this a lot, where like they go find an undrafted free agent, and he just turns out to be D'Anthony Bell, Ronnie Hickman, and now Aiden Huntington, like guys who can contribute.
Don't forget about
draft
Muhammad Diabate and Winston Reed, the linebackers. Yeah. Like on the defensive side of the ball, Andrew Berry does have a knack for finding these UDFA gems. He really does. And maybe on the offensive side this year, Gage Larvadane. I don't know. We'll see if he makes the roster, but damn, that kid was impressive this preseason.
That was the next guy I was going to bring up. I think 84 has to be on this roster.
I think so, man.
It doesn't have an Austin Watkins feel where he was just a targets merchant because he was the only receiver out there for the entire game. Like this guy just seems like have a knack. Like he's open, he catches the ball, he gets north and south, he has good vision. I don't know. Like I was super. Every time I watched a preseason game for the Browns this year, I came away thinking he was one of the better players on the field for us on offense.
And I think we're going to need a guy like that, especially in the early part of this season, because I don't think Isaiah Bond is ready. I don't think he's up to speed or close to it yet because he only played, I believe, 9 total snaps yesterday, which blew me away. I would have thought he'd been in there for a lot more to get more experience and more reps since he's missed everything up until this point. But I think somebody on X said the first play he was in on, like they were trying to get him to, like he was the motion man, and they tried to motion him twice and he never went. So they just snapped the ball. And it's like, okay, clearly he doesn't have the playbook down yet.
No, he's been there for 3 days. So honestly, 9 plays is kind of a lot more than I'm kind of surprised he even suited up. But so I also think my fear is Amani Marshall's not going to make the team because he's in there running the ball late. And right. You know what I mean? And it's like, but man, I don't know. I was super impressed with him all preseason also.
This episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Browns fans, do you ever feel stuck in your current job? Like if you just had a different degree or some more education in a certain area, you could do something you really want to do. Well, Southern New Hampshire University has the answers for you. Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your new career today. SNHU is one of the largest online accredited universities in the United States, and it's radically affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your degree for your new career, 100% online and 100% on your time. snhu.edu/bark. This episode is brought to you by Baden Sports. Browns fans, it's summertime. Time to get outside and take advantage of the beautiful weather and play some backyard games. Head over to badensports.com, BADEN sports.com/dogs, and check out all their summertime gear. And for 10% off your entire order, just use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. Now, if you guys love pickleball, Baden Sports has all the gear you need, including a variety of paddles, balls, and complete pickleball sets with a pack and go carry case so you can play in the backyard or take it on vacation to play with the entire family. Baden Sports also has volleyball and badminton sets, croquet, horseshoes, bocce, and even Vikings chess. And no summer break is complete without some good old-fashioned wiffle ball. Plus, Baden has all kinds of different basketballs with special outer layers that are designed specifically for whatever surface you'll be playing on. So don't waste 1 second this summer. Head to badensports.com/dogs to get the backyard outdoor gaming gear that your family needs and get 10% off your entire order with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. That's badensports.com/dogs. So let's talk about running backs real quick because Pierre Strong went out with a concussion yesterday. And Pierre Strong actually, I thought, ran the ball decently well yesterday. Now, again, of course, 4-string guys for the Rams. I get all that. But I do think that he would still probably, in the Browns' eyes, have some sort of priority over the UDFA Marshall. But, the Browns are rumored to be looking for running backs, trading for guys. There's a lot of Audric Estime smoke going around, the running back out of Denver, because he played for Tommy Rees at Notre Dame a couple years ago. The Browns, hosted him last year on a pre-draft visit, all that stuff. There's been interest. So if the Broncos cut Audric Estime, he could very easily end up a Cleveland Brown. But if it's just like Sampson, Ford, Strong, like what are we doing at running back?
We need a guy like him. Honestly, we need freaking Quinshon Judkins.
Yes, that's who we need.
You know what I mean? Because right now, every running back on our roster outside of Marshall, they're the same running back, basically.
Yeah.
Pierre Strong, Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson's probably more bell cow than Ford and Pierre Strong. But even so...
But he's still smaller. He's a smaller size back.
Guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like... So right now you have 3 running backs who are all the same. Dylan Sampson's going to make the team. Jerome Ford is probably going to make the team. I think Pierre Strong is a better running back than Jerome Ford. I just think the biggest knock on Pierre Strong is his pass blocking is not very good. Mm-hmm. Does the concussion, put him more fringe? I don't know. I don't know how bad the concussion is. I just think Amani Marshall's, even though I think he's the kind of running back we need, he'll end up being the odd guy out, or he'll be practice squatted because we're either going to get Quinshon Judkins in here, or we're going to look for one of these running backs who gets cut, like an Audric Estime, and that's who we'll go get. And this guy's going to end up being a practice squad player. Quinshon Judkins, like, I don't understand what's going on there. What they kind of talked about on the broadcast a little bit, and they just said they didn't really have anything else new to report. But you did the research on this guy. Supposedly, you took him early second round. You took him over Travion Henderson. I mean, and so now that he's clear of the legal on the legal side, and you're supposedly waiting on the NFL to finish their investigation. Why? It's not going to be an 11-game suspension. I can promise you that. And
Right.
You gave $230 million guaranteed for a guy you knew was going to be suspended for a long time. And now you're holding off and you're not paying this guy. Like, some people talking about like Quinshon should be willing to give a little now because like he had this issue. But if he didn't do anything, which we don't know now.
But legally, that's what I would say. Like, we don't know exactly what happened, but legally, through the court, there's no evidence that he did anything. So that's where I leave it. Like, there's no evidence he did anything.
And
that's what he's probably using.
I heard the phone call, and it sounds like she's just trying to get money. I mean, if you listen to that phone call, but you're going, why would I give up any money? Why? All because somebody can accuse me of something. All of a sudden now I have to give up my bargaining position because something I didn't do. So anybody can just accuse me, and all of a sudden I have to start giving up dollars. So I understand Quinshon's side of it. I don't understand the Brown side of it. You picked him. You tapped him to be your workhorse running back to replace Nick Chubb. You took him early second round. He's kind of important to this offense. Like, you picked him to be like a 3-down back for you. And now you're going to sit here. I mean, he's not going to be on the team week 1, most likely. At least, and even if he is, he's not going to be ready to play. He's probably gone a quarter of the season right now. If he were to sign tomorrow, I don't know if he plays before week 2 or 3.
That's been my argument too. Like, this whole time is you drafted him to be your guy. And even if he's going to end up with like a 4-game suspension or something, which again, I don't know how the NFL could do that with no evidence to support anything, whatever. We'll talk about that if and when it happens. But like, they drafted him not just for 4 games this year. They drafted him for the next 4 years plus. Like, you're not just, this is a blip on the radar. I mean, if he gets a little suspension here, you need him long term, and you're going to screw up. You're doing the Bengals thing now. You're screwing up this relationship here. And, whenever we say like on the, Judkins is saying this, it's his agent. Remember, like I guarantee Judkins' agent is saying, don't take any less than what you're owed here. Everybody around you in the draft got fully guaranteed contracts. This is what they got. you need to hold out for that because they've got nothing to hold against you.
3 picks before you got a fully guaranteed contract for the same team. No, I don't know. This is kind of something like the Browns haven't really dealt with Andrew Berry. Like, we usually get this kind of stuff buttoned up, and it's driving me crazy because I just took him in a dynasty league. And 2, I took him, I think, everything got wrapped up. I'm like, okay, they'll get this signed. And then now, who knows if he's ever going to play for us? Who knows what's going to happen? Like, if he doesn't ever sign with the Browns, can he go back to college? He wasn't a senior. Could he do like what Shedeur Stewart was talking about doing?
I believe so. Yeah.
Like because he has an agent, and typically when you get an agent, that's like what gets rid of your eligibility. But I think you can file for appeals or something and get to go back. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. That's all pure speculation.
I think it'll get done at some point. It's frustrating that it's not done yet. I think it's ridiculous. Personally.
We're talking about like standard rookie contracts. This is the same kind of BS that we talked about with the Bengals. Like, they're standard. These rookie draft picks by round, they're pretty much standard. Everybody pretty much gets the same one. Just give it to them already. You basically took $230 million and just lit it on fire with Deshaun, and you're going to complain. And with Dustin Hopkins, and you're going to complain. You're going to hardball your rookie running back in your second round rookie running back. Just, I don't know. Like, give me a freaking break. Just get it done already.
And it might have to do with like some of the terminology and language they're trying to put into the contract, like with the Shedeur Stewart thing. Maybe that future guarantees can be completely voided if another situation like this or on a suspension. I don't know what the deal is. We obviously, like you said, we have no new information other than nothing's happening, and it's infuriating.
How much of this talk about the Browns being on the radar for running backs is just smoke trying to pressure Quinshon into signing?
Well, that could be. I mean, we'll find out here in the next week or so.
I know before we got maybe 10 minutes or so, when I'm looking at the wide receiver room here, so we talked about the running back room a little bit. When I look at the wide receiver room, obviously Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, I think Jamari Thrash had a really good offseason. I'm excited to see him this year. Hopefully Gage Larvadin,
Bond.
Isaiah Bond. Who else is there? The 6 wide receiver.
It's been Carter, DeAndre Carter.
Okay. I think one of these guys at the bottom, I think there's a chance they might make the initial 53 and then they will be cut or practice squatted like a day or two later based on other teams' cuts. Like, there's talk of Romeo Doubs being cut. I would take him on the Browns in a heartbeat. I think he'd be a great addition to the wide. Him and Jerry Jeudy and Tillman could be a real nice combination. So I think there's going to be some guys that are cut on other teams that even if, like a Carter or a Gage Larvadin do make the roster at that 6 or 7 wide receiver position, I don't necessarily know if that means they are safe.
So are you saying Deontay Johnson is not on this roster?
I don't think he's done nothing to make me think he should be on this team, which is not unexpected, but still disappointing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a good way to put it.
Because I thought there was a chance that he could have been one of the steals of free agency, getting him for what we got him for, and considering how much we need wide receiver help. Like, he could have been a steal for this team if he could just play like he did, in Pittsburgh, which you deal with the drops because the rest of the production was there. Now it's like he just drops it and there's just nothing there. I don't know. Like, he could play a whole game. I don't even know he's out there.
Yeah.
No, it's just,
and when we're talking preseason,
not deep at wide receiver. Yes.
Preseason, second string, third string guys he's going out there against, and he's getting outplayed by Gage Larvadin. Sorry.
Yes. So I don't think he's on this team. I think if Jeudy and if Tillman can stay healthy, and I think the with Joe Flacco and David Njoku, I think the wide receiver core can be, at least for Kevin Stefanski offense, hopefully serviceable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. So do you have any other positions you want to look at? Because I got 2 things left I want to get your thoughts on.
I was going to say kicker.
Well, that was one of them. So let's go ahead, go there. Go to kicker.
I don't know what the specifics are on Dustin Hopkins' contract, but he is guaranteed to miss some kind of kick in the game. He's either going to miss an extra point or he is going to miss a field goal. Correct me if I'm wrong. He missed one kick every single game, right?
At least 2 games. I can't remember if the other game he missed one or almost missed one. I don't remember the situation, but he sucks. He's just
2025. He was 3 of 3 for field goals.
Oh, you're talking last year or this year?
No, just the preseason this year. He was 4-6 on extra points.
That's terrible.
But he was 3 of 3 on 4-6 or 3 of 3 on field goals, and that was with the one he definitely missed, but they say he made.
Right.
If you remember, what was that? The week 1.
I think that was week 1. Yeah, Carolina.
Week 1 where he definitely missed it, and then they said he made it, and if you go back and watch, he definitely missed it.
Yeah, because I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe you missed that. And then they're like, it's good. I'm like, what?
So which means he was really 2 of 3 on field goals and 4-6 on extra points. So he took 9 kick attempts and missed 3 of them.
It's not going to work.
30% of his kicks.
It's not going to work. He's not going to work. They keep him, we're screwed. I mean, we're going to be screwed at kicker. He's, like you said, he's going to miss kicks every week.
The offense just isn't going to be explosive enough or good enough where we can, if this offense takes 10 plays and gets down to the 25 or 30 and sputters out, we have to be able to get 3 points. Mm-hmm. We can't keep getting empty drives where it looks promising and we come away with nothing because the kicker misses a chip shot field goal.
And as much as I like Kevin and we like Kevin, the 4th down calls are not always the best, or they're not always the best executed plays on the field. So we need to be able to kick.
Yes. So I'd be cutting bait. Like, he'd be gone already.
I know. I don't know. I know that there's, the contract commitment and all that kind of stuff, but at some point you just got to eat it because he's going to cost you more on the field than what you're going to lose cutting him. I mean, you cannot have this because that's just going to deflate an entire team. Right, that you get your defense goes out there, say they get like a key turnover. Our offense takes it back far enough to get a 3 points, and that's going to put us up with like 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter or something. And then he misses the kick, and then everyone's like, F this,
Or missing extra points.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you lose by 1, or you have to go for a
2
touchdown instead of a field goal late in a game or something like it can't happen. And I understand that you're not going to find a kicker who makes every single one, but you can find a kicker who makes almost every single one.
Well, we thought we did, and we thought it was Dustin Hopkins. Not anymore.
So he's got to be gone. I don't just fell off a cliff. Like it needs to be studied. It's terrible.
It's over. I think he's done. I mean, he's older. He's like 36 or something. It's done. Time to move on.
It sucks because that first season, man, I was like, build the statue.
Got him paid.
All right. What was the last position?
So they were asking Kevin, I think, today about the quarterbacks, going into the season. There's been all this talk about keeping all 4 of the guys on the roster. And today he said that he anticipates Kenny Pickett being healthy for week 1. He's not ready to name a QB2 yet. But if they take all 4 of these guys into the season and Kenny Pickett is healthy by week 1, do you think there's any way that they don't make Kenny Pickett the backup quarterback?
Oh, he's going to be the backup because
that's what I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure they want him to be the starter.
I think so too. If he didn't have this hamstring injury, I think we'd be starting him, and I would be much less optimistic about week 1.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem to be in love with Kenny Pickett. I don't understand. I mean, he's not even hardly practicing. He's playing flag football. The most he's doing is 7-on-7.
Yeah.
It's not like the guy has great tape, NFL tape out here for them to go off of. He's been a disappointment his entire career. The only thing I can think is that they don't want to force Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders into game action earlier than they need to, or that they think they're ready for. And that's why they don't want to get rid of either one of the rookies because they think they got something, but they don't want them to play this year if they don't have to. That's the only explanation for why Kenny Pickett would be QB2 and even still be on this roster.
And to me, when you lay it out like that, I don't hate it as much because they are trying to protect and take care of their rookies. That's not what past regimes in Cleveland have done historically with the rookie quarterbacks, especially these late round guys. They just kind of get thrown out there and then you never hear from them again. because they're not ready and they get destroyed. But that would make sense. Keep Kenny Pickett as more of a buffer. Especially
if, what if we start the season, what if by some miracle we start 3-3? And we're through like the gauntlet part, like the whole season, the whole schedule's tough, but like that first 6 weeks is the brutal part of it. What if we somehow get through 3-3, but Joe Flacco gets injured? You don't want to hand the keys to Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders when like the season's still there. You just got through the gauntlet at 500 and everything. And then all of a sudden it just goes off the rails because you had to play a rookie before he was ready, a third or a fifth round rookie. And so you go to Kenny Pickett and you can hopefully keep the season alive longer. And then if Kenny plays awful for 2 or 3 games and now you're sitting at 3-5 or 3, then maybe you hand it over to one of the rookies. But I can see them wanting to keep him there as they learn their lesson. With like the Josh Dobbs situation where you didn't want to, we traded Josh Dobbs because we thought DTR was ready to be the backup. And then Deshaun got hurt. And then it was a miracle that we made the playoffs that year and stumbled into Joe Flacco because we were playing with DTR and PJ Walker. And I just think they don't want to do that again. So if anything, I'll accept the explanation that they want him to be there as a veteran QB, as a backup veteran, instead of just having to throw a rookie to the wolves. I think there's a chance that if we're 0-6 and like Joe Flacco would get hurt, they would just jump Kenny Pickett and go to one of the rookies.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So the only problem with that is if you keep all 4 rookies, now all of a sudden you got to start making some tougher roster decisions in other positions.
You do. And we'll see what happens because roster cut down day is Tuesday. So here we go.
When's this episode coming out?
Later today.
So I'm anxious to see what the Hall of Famer thinks.
Yeah. So me and Justin will be having a good friend of the show, Joe Thomas, back on tomorrow. That episode will come out either tomorrow night or Tuesday.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, just know Joe Thomas, I think we can officially call him friend of the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're excited to have him back on. I'm bummed I won't get to be there for this one, but I'm leaving it in good hands. But all right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. That's our thoughts on yesterday's game and kind of the roster in general right now. Let us know what you guys thought. Please watch the videos. Don't just read the titles of the videos and just post nonsense. Like, just watch the video and see where we're coming from before you comment a bunch of stupid stuff. It's infuriating. We'll get comments on videos and I'm like, you clearly didn't watch the video, or you've clearly never watched any other video of this, because what your comment says makes no sense in terms of what we're saying or what we have historically said on this show. So just watch the video. Don't be a person who just looks at titles and comments. To everybody who does watch the videos and comments, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. If you want to get thoughts and interests on the show, again, that's thedogspodcast.com. And if you want to get access to that private Discord, join thedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. We appreciate you guys being here. We're super excited to be heading into roster cutdowns and then officially week 1 prep. And we're also super pumped to have Joe Thomas on the show again tomorrow. Make sure you guys don't miss that. Again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night or the next night with Joe Thomas.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Butcher Box for Pets. Browns fans, we love our fellow dogs, our Dog Pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful, but let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. Your furry friends aren't just pets, they're part of the family. But the question is, what are you actually feeding them? Head to butcherbox4pets.com/products to see all the options for your dogs, including fresh and dry foods, treats, meal toppers, and even toys for your dog. If you're not sure what your dog will like best, try the Premium Nutrition Adult Starter Pack pack, and they even have a vacation bundle to take care of your four-legged friends while you're on vacation this summer. And right now you can get 20% off your order with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain zero artificial flavors or preservatives. You get protein-packed formula with over 50% of the recipe comprised of third-party certified humane ButcherBox meat, plus functional ingredients like pre- and postbiotics to support your dog's vitality and digestion. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line is your dogs are getting the nutrition and the value they need, and honestly, that they deserve. I know our home wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. He is not, but it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of just that factory processed garbage from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to go. ButcherBox for Pets delivers their high-quality food right to your door. So head to butcherboxforpets.com/products and use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 20% off your order. It's time for us dogs to give our dogs the nutrition they deserve.
Shop the Sherwin Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 22nd through September 4th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.